Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another spotlight interview with Global Thought Leaders, an initiative by RightSource Global. I am Zishan Pathan, Director of Client Services at RightSource Global and a council member of Global Thought Leaders. Along with me, I have my colleague, friend, and a council member of Global Thought Leaders, Heval Mehta, the Chief Growth Officer at RSG. Global Thought Leaders is a platform for industry stalwarts to cross pollinate with their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices to inspire each other and future leaders. Through spotlight interviews, we bring the community of eminent personalities together from across the globe. We bring the expertise of various functions, roles, and sectors together on one platform to inspire future leaders. We have one such industry stalwart today on the spotlight with us, Mr. Samir Kukade. Samir is a renowned face into the human resource function. I would request Heval to introduce our today's eminent personality. Over to you, Heval.
Well, thank you so much, Zishan, and I'm sure everyone who is watching this video will agree to this point. It certainly does not require any introduction, right? But let me take this opportunity. I'll feel proud to introduce Samir today. First of all, I would really like to welcome Samir on the Spotlight interview, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to have a sweet conversation. In fact, I would say a learning conversation from you today. To begin with, Samir is a seasoned and a well-rounded experienced HR professional. He is in the field of human resource management for the last 30 years and has done exemplary people organization transformation, organization development work in his career. Through his visionary leadership and unique skill set, he has contributed significantly to his organization as value-adding HR business partner. He was fortunate to work with industry giants like Kirloskar Oil Engines Ltd, Kirloskar Pneumatic Co Ltd, Garware Wall Ropes Ltd, and SKF India Ltd. He led the greenfield project of Brinton's Carpet, which is British MNC, for developing HR culture and converting the projects into matured organization. Lastly, he headed human resource function in US Multinational LEAR Automotive India Private Ltd as Country Director, Human Resource. Currently, he is heading HR for biotechnology leader Praj Industries Ltd as CHRO and President, Human Capital. Well, I would not take much of your time to introduce Samir. As I'm sure everyone knows, we would want to hear more from Samir Kukade today. So welcome, Samir, to this Spotlight interview. And we would really like to know more from you today. Thank you so much for giving us your time today, Samir.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm too delighted and lovely introduction. Does not need so much elaborate introduction, but then I believe that is a part of your formal introduction. So you can go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the introduction itself was inspiring, I must say that, Samir. And your journey is inspirational to many in the industry. So what are the key highlights of your journey since the beginning of your career till the President Human Resource or President Human Capital's role at Praj Industry? So, can you just walk us through the key highlights of your complete journey, Samir?
Okay, I think you're taking me to down the memory lane, and I go back to my early days and I start thinking what has actually inspired me to come into the profession, how I got developed myself, or wherever actually many people helped me to come up as a leader. So it has been a contribution of my colleagues, bosses, my teams, and successful support from their side. So I owe all this success, whatever I have today, to my team, colleagues, and my bosses. I think if they would have not shown the confidence in me, I would have not never reached to that kind of a level what I am today. When I think that it was before when I did my graduation, and then I was thinking of the profession, and 30 years back, actually, if you see, uh, we never used to have a HR as a name for the profession. It used to be a personal admin, and it was why how I got introduced, because this is something which is not very usual to have that those days. Fortunately, my father was in the same profession, although he didn't have a formal education in this, but he got through the career, and he was in the industry, corporate life, plus he did some consulting in the legal area also. So I was having a background, I was knowing what kind of a profession it is, and it actually put me to a lot of curiosity. And then I started talking to various people in the field, and I realized that this could be my this could really satisfy my passion of meeting people, talking to people, getting introduced to many people, then understanding what are the psychological pieces you can really correlate with the situation. And that's what, because I'm extrovert right from the beginning, so that was the very clear choice I had right from the beginning. So that then I did my post graduation in human resources. Then that time I was having a lot of interest in law, so labor laws I completed. uh, then after that, when it came to starting of my career, I was very sure that I want to pursue my career as a generalist, okay, not a specialist. But then uh, because then you can see a variety of the things in your career, and it gives a opportunity to go into a different subjects, not in depth sometimes, but then it gives a lot of excitement around your work. And that's how in fact, I vividly remember that those days management really was not a very common concept. There used to be very, very few common campus interviews. And I remember in my campus, there was a very renowned company came in and they offered me a job. Okay. And but that was, of course, that was a management ready, but then that was related to a welfare, and that was not covering complete entire that time personnel, or now we call HR. That was not there. So I was not having any job in hand, but then my target was very clear, that I don't want to go into a specialization of a small nature. I would like to overview everything. And I went to the head of HR there. I met him personally, and I told him that I don't have any job in hand. I'm not. I look for the start of my career, uh, and I would like to start and kick off. But then this is not a real preference for me or choice. So can you give me a generalist profile? And if I'll be happy and I'll prove myself in this role in better way. But then he said, unfortunately, we have this job and there is no other slot available in generalist role. So I expressed my apology and I denied that offer. Okay, and that was my first offer in life. So I would have picked up, then I would have been in different path. So uh, and then in 2 months time I got opportunity in Garware, and then and that was a generalist role. And I was determined that I would like to go into a generalist role, which will take me through all aspects related to personal HR, development, and everything. So that's how this started. Then I moved to various companies in my life, but then the biggest motivator for me in my career uh, is my passion. And that passion, and I feel that till I have that passion, I will go on that fuel all the time. And that was something which was the differentiator all the time. And wherever I worked, I can tell you the the kind of a why I changed, what I did. So the words like determination, this first piece of the career was a determination to go in a particular area. Then second was learning curve. I wanted to learn something. So I moved uh, from Kirloskar to a very new venture. Finally, that didn't take place. That was a wrong move, and I learned a lot of things from there. And then thereafter, I did. But then after 6 years of my career, I wanted to be a head of plant, and that was the dream. And I was doing extremely well in Kirloskar. And then I one day after 5 years, I talked to my boss. I said, I have done with my gratuity. Those days, gratuity used to be very important. But then, if I stay in this organization one more year, I will retire from here. And I don't want to retire from one company, because I know my salary will go up, my job will go, sorry, salary will go up, my job title will go up, but my job will not grow, because there are a lot of people in this role for years and I will not be able to. So, and he graciously said, Samir, if that is the thought, go and fly and see what you can do. And after that, there was a failure, but that was a learning curve. I came back, I learned, and then got into the new role where the greenfield project, which Hevel mentioned about Brinton's, that was a new experience, because that time there were no much of a multinationals in the country, or companies with joint ventures were there, but not in true sense it's a multinational. So that opened up a huge kind of a path for me to go into various areas, part of the greenfield project, creating systems, creating people policies, creating learning and development pieces, creating the career paths for people, because it was a young organization with the average age of 27, 28. See, so all these things slowly started getting into this. Then uh, that was a piece of independence that I wanted to do after 6 years, but that happened after 9 years. Then going to SKF was, I wanted to venture in a very different way. Uh, that was the piece of industrial relations, coupled with human resources and development and other things, which uh, which was the which was the risk, because I was well settled in the organization. But then wherever I have settled down, I can't be in a comfort zone for long time. So then I had to make a decision that, okay, I would like to put myself in again a uncomfort situation with a new skill set, and I got into and the huge uh, cultural change, transformation we had to do in my organization along with my team and my bosses. That was the passion. So transformation was the and that was a brief when I joined, that you need to put yourself into a transformation. Then growing again from there and working in a very different environment, US multinational, very fast organization, from the decision making point of view, in including people decisions. So putting the right processes, right people policies, taking the talent management to a different level was a wonderful experience of those 6 7 years. So that was thing. And then now joining the biotechnology leader, where our founder chairman has got a vision that we need to have a green environment, and we are into ethanol business, and our biggest business is in ethanol. Other businesses are in also there in water and wastewater and other things. But then passion is to make waste to wealth, and getting into this organization again in the phase where we are growing and supporting the growth is something which is very heartbreaking kind of a feeling, that okay, it is very good to know that I'm a part of a growth story. So that these are the different so A, aspiration; B, passion; third, transformation; fourth, learning curve. These are the few nuggets I have always pursued in my career, and that has paid me off, humbly I can say, in growing in the organization at a different level. So
Amazing.
these
These
are,
are
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, amazing. These are the the principles which really drove you towards your success. I would say, which really fueled the success story of yours, right? Samir, you have had a wonderful roller coaster journey. I've just heard you mentioning about your journey since the time you started your career. Since then, you have also participated in various strategy level calls and discussions, right? So, what are the key changes you brought in your function to make it more efficient and effective?
See, interestingly, very, very interesting concept. We always see now with a lot of books and new researches are happening. Uh, but then human resource is subject of each and everybody, because everybody goes through that phase of managing people, and everybody comes with their own principles and their own way of thinking about the people. Uh, and that's how there are a lot of people experts in the organization, okay, with their based on their experience. So creating right people processes is one aspect, but then what is right for the organization is although second aspect. So you need to have right processes, right systems, but at the uh, what is most suitable, most compatible to the organization culture is also a sensitivity you have to follow. And wherever I worked, I saw very carefully what the organizational fabric is. It takes time. It doesn't happen in 1 year's time, but then you start understanding and sensing where your culture is, what you value for, value, what you create a value for the customer, what your customer, end customer, or your stakeholders perceive is best from the company's standpoint. All these things, while weaving off those principle into the beat into talent sourcing, talent management, talent development, and processes which are required to develop all these three. So always creating, uh, rather I would say, attracting, retaining, and developing. These are the three phases of any talent management. Okay, and for that it is very critically important that what kind of a talent you are looking from the organization point of view, and then you are inducting in the organization considering the values of the organization and what will be valued by the stakeholders. So both the things I have already always put into the system. So beat, and according to me, people processes and people policies are main drivers to create a culture. Because when you create the policies and processes, you empower people to drive them into a one direction. And it's very difficult because all are different, people are different, their thought processes are different, their experiences are different, their background is different, their thought processes comes out of their experiences and their success. So in this manner, if you have say 2000, 3000 people, putting them into the one thought process is very critical. So how organization can create a right path of communication, awareness, communication, reiteration, and demanding what organization is looking for to convert opportunities into the business and making it grow. Finally, the organization is for making money, but at the same time, how we can create careers is my responsibility. So organization business managers see how I can make money out of the organization. My responsibility is how I can make careers out of it. So if I convert careers, or I can create careers for people, I think the most satisfying feeling is that when we talk about the processes, and based on those, I can give many examples that how I can what kind of a process. But then the guiding principle remains this, and then based on requirement, because something which I have done maybe in one company is exactly not requiring in a other company. So all these improvements are related to the organization, culture, expectations of stakeholders, and what makes the organization stronger, better, and result oriented. That's the actually core principle or guiding principle I followed while implementing new processes for the organization.
Amazing insights, Samir. I must say that. Samir, you mentioned about creating careers, right? Building their careers in your company for your human resource. So these days, the question that I'm going to ask is much more relevant, and you are the best person to answer that question, I would say, is about developing a resilient workforce, right? So, what are the key roles senior HR professionals must play to build a resilient workforce, Samir?
From resilient is coming out of COVID period more and more, because I can see I started hearing this particular word more and more in this last 1 year, and that's where actually the value of human intervention is very much required. According to me, why resilience is required? I think that is the first question. Why you want resilient workforce? Resilient workforce is because you have a difficult situation. You have a challenges in front of you, and when you have a challenges, you have and it is going the degree of difficulty, degree of complexity, and I don't want to use that Gisapita word of VUCA world, but then in real sense, this all factors of ambiguity, complexity, volatility, all this are critical, where the resilience makes the difference. And how the individual can make the difference? One has got very clear understanding on company's objective, company's vision. They have a confidence in leaders. They are fully engaged. I would not say they are happy, but they are fully engaged. Because if you have a happy people, then the state will be a flat all the time. But then aspiring people, aspirations, all this is connected to these factors, and the main role comes into the play when your senior management is communicating what we are looking for, what board is looking for, what stakeholders are looking for, why shareholders are looking for, and those deliverables we need to uh, actually give to the organization, and those deliverables need to be communicated in a most consistent way to everybody. And if that happens, people start engaging, and resilience comes from a higher engagement, and that would decide how many engaged employees you have, how resilient your organization is. So if you see today, in the kind of we have been cursing government government organizations for uh, non-efficiency, not having sense of time, then so many adjectives which but in last 1 year, they are they are working with full resilience, because they have a target in front of them. They have they have a vision in front of them, that I would like to take COVID out of my state or my country. That's why the professionalism, what we had not seen from the government organizations, be it police, be it the other healthcare system, whatever. The kind of a work they have done is phenomenal. They have transformed. We were having only two or three centers where we were having testing. Now today you just see what, and the resilience comes from that commitment and engagement. When you are fighting for somebody's life, your life is in danger. Still they were engaged, and that made the difference. That made them resilient to the change. And I think that's how companies vision, companies targets, and companies goals. Targets are 1 year, goals are longer. So how those are ingrained, how those are embedded into the workforce, that decides the resilience. So the communication plays very important role. A, B, other supporting systems like how you are taking care of people in terms of their compensation, their facilities they have, how they are comfortable with their bosses, how they are comfortable with organizational atmosphere and environment. All these factors will come into the play after the vision is communicated, and then you can correlate that how person can be resilient in fighting the cause for the organization. So that is the difference actually. I think highly engaged people, and we nowadays we have different concepts like employee experience and all. I will not go into that, but then in a simple words, uh, what is the motivation in non-profit organization? They are resilient. They see most of the problems every day. Still they fight against that. There is no money, there is no career, but they have a passion and they have a vision, and they are working for a noble cause. So your resilience comes from your commitment to the vision.
I
That
must
makes it.
acknowledge. Yeah, I must acknowledge these are amazing thoughts, Samir. And Samir, you have played a very vital role in devising out the people strategy of various organizations, right? So, what are the key people strategies during the COVID period which helped the organizations to grow?
I think this is one of the kind experience even I went through. I never saw this kind of an environment before in my career, and locking down completely the country. People are not having the ability to move. There is a fear. See what happened so far. Whenever we have faced the recession, either in a economic terms, either the supply was more or demand was more. In this situation, the supply and demand both went down, and the recessionary kind of a conditions came. It was the most effective kind of a period which was cutting across all the sections. We had a problem. So creating right strategies for people was very critical. The organization was not having in any manufacturing organization, any engineering organization, any EPC organization, they don't have a work from home scenario. And when you have an organization, if you're a software company, then you can sit in a small room and you keep on making codes, and you can design the programs, and you can still go on because there's an individual contributor. When we think of manufacturing, we think of EPC, project management, and innovation. You need to collaborate with others, and that's why fundamentally we were having a thought process that work from home is not for us, and that is for software. This pandemic changed our thought process. We moved practically everything to the home, laptops, systems, everything, and this happened in 1 month's time. Sometimes some people, yes, and which was not required. Some people were not using They were not used to Zoom. They were not used to VPN. They were not knowing how to connect to this home Wi-Fi. Their speeds were low. So moving from work from office to work from home, I still remember that the lockdown started on 22nd, if I'm not wrong, or 23rd, first lockdown. And we started working on 10th because in Pune, we got a first patient on 8th of March. The first patient, which was the person who traveled from Mumbai to Pune in cab, he got infected. So we started immediately on 10th. And by 23rd, we were almost done on the preparations. There were challenges, definitely there were challenges, but then we passed through that. We never thought of work from home because we have a lot of, because we are a proprietary knowledge organization. So with the kind of a what we can say, the walls, security walls, and kind of a softwares to be protected, that we had to do. Then secondly, uh, we had to move to uh, digital joining, digital onboarding. Then we had to go for e-learning. We had to go for e-engagement. Literally, my team called each and every person in the organization. Are you okay? Are you well? Do you require any help? So I think this was a great opportunity to have a one-on-one with people. So that we did. Then support on hospitalization, support on insurance, which was never a priority because that was always happening on the background. But that took a first seat, the front seat. So that happened. Then when the most important thing, like uh, our chairman and our CEO pushed that let us have the weekly planning and review process, and we started doing that. We are trying to reach to last person in the organization, and that has given a tremendous results. That in COVID year, after losing first quarter, we did better than last year. So that was the big change in people processes, although typically it is not a HR process or people. I would say it was a people process. Aligning vision, aligning targets, aligning goal, and that happened cascading every week. So week wise, we went into the various phases. Then all the healthcare thing for the people, we got completely changed. So we started thinking in various things. We introduced the COVID insurance. Then this year we increased the coverage. So all these things mattered because the pivotal role in the organization started coming to the health of the organization. And many things are going to stay. Many things are going to, the health focus on healthcare is going to continue. I don't think work from home will go off completely. It will be continuing on certain percentage. I don't know what percentage, but that will come. Usage of technology is a big change. We have progressed a lot on digitalization in this period. Interestingly, uh, we commissioned one overseas project over video calling. So all these people are coming with new ideas on the whole thing, and we used so many survey tools, not survey tools but surveys. And this tool, we have taken so many information. We have worked on various aspects related to the working, not working, what kind of a test, what kind of a vaccination, and everything. So that helped actually to build very close connect. I don't think so far we were having so much connect directly with the employees much before or well before this particular pandemic. So those processes have changed. Our performance appraisal system, we had to change completely. How we are going to evaluate people. The significance of high performing behavior came into the play. Values came into the play, because I can't see you whether you're working or not. Your results will show, right? So the concepts what we were so far using in manufacturing engineering organizations undergone lot of changes, and those, so trust becomes a focal point, because I can't see you. I may not see you for a week, but still I need to get a support. I need to support you. I don't know whether what kind of a working you are doing, what progress you have done. So the confidence, the talking, that has really made the whole context in a very different way. So as I said, that engagement what we started, we still this is still continuing, even if it was lockdown was over and we started working in office. Now in plants are working, but the office is still in work from home situation. But then all this continued, and all the good practices what actually our chairman also said that okay, you continue, because this is paying off. You don't stop whatever you have started good. So that was the thing.
Amazing
I'm
people
talking to my
initiatives.
CEO, my boss. Yeah. And my boss, chairman. I'm talking much more than what I used to earlier do that. That's the success of this resilience time.
Wonderful, wonderful, Samir. In fact, as you mentioned that the whole function, not only the function, the complete organizations have undergone transformations, right? Especially when you talk about any function, it has become digitally transformed, I would say, right? So the next question is gonna be a bit interesting, right? Um, so various traditional organizations, they believe in maintaining hierarchical structure and the traditional designations, right? Do you think the designations will undergo a sea change along with the accountability attached to them in near future?
I think it's a very interesting phenomenon, because what is happening that the youngsters are not bothered about. As you increase the element of youngsters in your organization, this job titles and everything is going to be go irrelevant. Doesn't matter what you call. Yes, but then there is a that element somehow, I don't know why, but then in our society the recognition is connected to that. Which company you are is understandable, but are you general manager, are you senior general manager, are you vice president, and doesn't have an impact on that. In banking sector, the vice president starts from the entry level. It only works if you're going to meet some government officials, that okay, you carry the higher designation. But otherwise, it doesn't matter what you are called for, because people will go for your expertise, your knowledge, and your competency. So it is for all external world. Designations and hierarchy is for outside. Finally, we are working together in the organization. So it doesn't matter that what kind of a job designation you have. We might not be knowing how many are general managers, how many are senior managers. It's important that what job you are doing. And according to me, the youngsters are understanding that more, and that society related kind of a recognition. I think slowly that will also die. I'm not saying it's dying. It will die, because the craving for the recognition you can see on road every day with the number of holdings you have in the road. That's all craving for recognition, that people must know me, and the VIP culture. and that is reflecting in the organizations also. So recognition is one, but social recognition is second. And most of the social recognition is getting addressed through social media. And people are having kind of a they are getting satisfied with that kind of a recognition what they get on the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and everything. They express how highly on that. So my personal belief is that this is going to go after some time. Doesn't
Great
make a
thought.
difference. The moment VIP culture goes off, this all will go. But at the same time, in organization, I would not say flat organization is still there in India, but it is going to go up. But then job designations is something which is all for external world and not for internal.
Great thoughts, Samir. In fact, I totally agree to that point where you mentioned that it's for external world. Ultimately, you need to get the job done, or you need to do the job, right? So whatever maybe your designation, you definitely need to do the job, right? So that's
And
something.
secondly, if you see, it looks philosophical, but then uh, you are respected till you have a designation and chair. You as a professional is recognized if you don't have a chair and designation on your knowledge. So what remains is knowledge and expertise. Otherwise
Wonderful,
it's commercial.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So Samir, next thing, which will be very, very inspiring for the future thought leaders, I would say. So, the aspiring future thought leaders would like to be guided to avoid mistakes in their career path, right? And getting that guidance from you, Samir, would definitely be a value add. So, can you throw some light on the mistakes that future thought leaders must avoid aligning their goals better?
I think, as I said, I followed the principle of going by passion, and that works. That worked for me, and that worked for many. Okay, and money, designations, and everything. You may be placed in a best of the organization, but you don't have a self-respect. You don't have a kind of a satisfaction. You will not stay there. So you need to go behind the passion, which will make you happy and will make you feeling of I have done something. And that's something which is important in my career as I felt, and that can be a tip for anybody else. That will matter. Money follows, designation follows, and your dreams also keep on changing. It is not same as you start. You don't have a dream to become XYZ. It also is evolving because you increase your capabilities, you increase your knowledge, then it grows. But otherwise, if you go behind money and designations, you will get stuck somewhere, because you'll get the money, but then the competency what you need to earn, you are not there, and then one or the other day you will get exposed. So that is important. Secondly, uh, I like a very the line from the Three Idiots, that काबिल बनो, कामयाबी तेरे पीछे आएगी. So make yourself competent. Then nobody can stop. Maybe there could be delay or lag to go there 100%, but it will come. And I have experienced that twice in my career. Maybe once or twice it got denied, but then I I was there after some time because there was a competence I worked on. So that's something which we follow, and human capabilities are infinite. I think whatever you can stretch yourself, you stretch. I think leave everything other things on how destiny will treat you. But you have to put your 100%, maybe more than 100%, to make that happen. and then only destiny will help you. Destiny will not help you if you are sitting tight on one place. You make a progress, the doors will open. So that is very. And then last thing, if you don't learn from your mistakes, nobody can help you. No coach will help you. No mentor will help you. And for leaders, for future leaders, the team is very important. Is your support system. Build a team. Make them proper training. Make them all what they require to develop themselves. If you have a strong team, you'll be able to lead it. People have a fear that if I train everything to my next level, my importance will go. But then actually that is the reverse. They push you towards going up. If somebody is ready under you, then you also see, oh, somebody is ready, then I need to something look for me next. Otherwise, you will be happy in that comfort zone. So that's the key, I feel, with whatever my little experience is.
Wonderful 3 points that you have made, Samir, here. So that's why, I mean, we have been building this global thought leaders community for cross-pollination of knowledge. Right. So what do you think about this initiative, Samir? What are your thoughts about this initiative?
I think it's wonderful because see, nowadays with so much of a work pressure, shortage of time, you now the reading has gone down. Okay, people like to watch, people like to hear, like people like to listen, and such kind of initiatives will give a very ready-made or kind of on a platter the experiences what others feel. So it will be a very successful journey, I feel, you have, which we have started, that you are giving the youngsters the experience on a platter. So that will help people very well. And most importantly, when I feel there are people who, everybody has got a different learning style. Listening, uh, listening somebody, reading the biography, autobiography. These are the, according to me, is the best teachers where you can learn from others. I kept on learning in that way, big way, from my HR leaders who I followed, people who shared their experiences, and this has given me insight how to wonderful initiative you have taken to uh, disseminate the experience to large population, and that is going to be very helpful for the forthcoming leaders or thought leaders who would be coming into the profession.
Well, I would really like to thank Samir, first of all, for appreciating and acknowledging the efforts that we are trying to put for the future leaders. And trust me, it wouldn't be complete without stalwarts like you giving the right coaching, giving the right points, giving the right thoughts and insights for the future leaders to learn. So really, again, a big thank you, Samir. And the spotlight for today, we've learned a lot from you today, Samir, and few things that surely all the viewers would like to pick up is be passionate about whatever you're doing. Right now, what happens that you get an opportunity, you just do it for the sake of doing it. But no, if you do it with 100% dedication and passionate, you will definitely be successful. I was really happy, Samir, when at the beginning of our conversation you initiated and you begin with certain failures. That's the courage. You know, at times people when they fail, when they fall down, they have that fear in them of rising again, right? But this session, this conversation that we had with you, trust me, future leaders will not have any fear of falling and failing. So thank you so much on throwing a bright light on that, Samir. One thing that I am taking with me today, and I'm sure even Zishan will agree to it, celebrate your success with your team. You can only be successful if your team is with you. So if you are a successful manager, if you are a successful leader, the effort is, and the entire compliment goes to your team. But if you're a failure, no problem at all. Rise again and do the best. So thank you so much, Samir, for throwing this fabulous light and giving us your precious time for this wonderful conversation. And I'm sure all the viewers will learn something new and exciting and adapt in them to become a fantastic future leader. Thank you so much once again, Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samir. It's an honor.